Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I'm Lucas and welcome back to another F123 League Racing video on the channel. And today we have WOR Round 2 around Austria. Now, first off, we have the first run of Q1 on your screens right now, but if you are confused as to why this is Round 2 and not Round 1, it's because I was kind of ill on the day of the first round. So I didn't race last week in Bahrain. So yeah, this is my first race in WOR on F123. And without further ado, let's jump into the action. So, Austria on F123 is very tricky to get all three sectors together. Sector 1, which consists of literally just turn 1, as we have a monumentally horrible slide through turn 4, is very, very hard to get the cut right. You have to completely cut it on this game, which is quite annoying. But then Sector 2 is actually really fun. It's really high speed, as we missed that apex quite a bit. Thankfully still carrying momentum, but not an ideal lap so far, as we've bled off quite a lot of time, mainly in this middle sector. Coming into the final sector now, having to drop it down to 6th, coming into the last corner, missing that apex, so not a great first run, but getting across the line anyway, so getting a banker lap in, and we do a 103.315, which is enough to see us through at the end of the session, albeit we were a bit unhappy with how some of our some of the issues, some of the mistakes that we made. So yeah, heading on now to, which you might be slightly confused by, our first run of Q2, which is on used tyres. And there's a reason I'm showing this lap, and this is because this lap was actually good enough for us to get through into Q3. So yeah, the used tyres, I think they were like 3 to 4%, but they still gave us some good grip on this lap. So yeah, we wanted to complete the used attempt heading into turn 4, getting a nice momentum, nice rotation, heading into the high speed stuff now, holding it in 6th gear, getting the power on, the car rotates nicely, using all the roads, car bumps a little bit on the way into turn, I believe it's 6, and now we've only got 2 more corners to negotiate, chucking it in, holding 7th gear, using the road in the exit, using a bit more road on the inside to open up the corner through the last, and coming to the line now. That is a 103.053 to kick ourselves off in Q2 with used tyres, and that was actually the fastest lap at the time. But heading on now to our first new tyre run, and we invalidate right out the last corner on a lap that would have been also P1 by a very small margin, but nonetheless, here we are now on our final attempt, going into the first corner, which we completely mess up. That's how easy it is to mess up turn 1. You know, it might look subtle, but we just lost a full 10th, and we actually bail out of this lap and go again the next lap, as we had the fuel and the time to do so. So here we are now on our final run of Q2, which in hindsight was probably a mistake to go for. I was maybe a bit too overcautious, because the 103.05 we have at the moment, which was on the used tyre run, was more than good enough to see us through the session, but I just didn't have it in my head that, you know, I was going to get through on the used tyre. I really felt like I wanted to use that tyre, use the first set, because I was going to have 2 fresh sets for Q3 anyway, but with the power of hindsight, I wouldn't have went out for this run. So this was, at the end of the day, it was still a warm-up for Q3 anyway, to try and get the rhythm. This lap wasn't really anything sensational up to this point. We're only a couple of hundreds up. We start to get a bit more time now though, as we head into Sector 3, and now we have a good bit of an advantage on our delta. 2 more corners to negotiate that will see us easily through. But yeah, I, with the power of hindsight, would not have done this run, as it really wasn't necessary, as we had a car lag right in front of us in the last corner, which you probably just saw. But yeah, that'll see us comfortably through into Q3. Okay. And yeah, that was so maybe a bit of misjudgment on my side with the tyre plan. Probably should have saved the set of softs now. However, heading into Q3 now, here we are for our first new run in Q3. So this is when the grip's at its finest and at its highest. So heading into turn 1, sending it in, massive cut, and we nail turn 1. I cannot express how difficult that corner is to absolutely nail, but I knew from this point on that I had to nail this lap, because that turn 1 was really, really good. So heading into turn 3 now, braking really late, getting to the apex, not quite getting insane rotation through there, but nonetheless we have a very nice clean execution of turn 3. Heading into turn 4 now, using all the road in the entry, of course. Good rotation, decent minimum speed. Maybe could have been a little bit tighter to the apex and carried a bit more in, but it's all good. Heading into this left-hander, we're actually too tight here, so we lose a bit of time in this left-hander. We don't quite carry the momentum, but heading into this left-hander, we absolutely nail that, and now we are on for quite a solid lap if we can just round it out in these final 2 corners. So heading into the penultimate corner, chucking it in 7th gear, using a decent amount of road in the exit, but then absolutely nailing the last corner to come towards the line now. Bang! Come on! Have it!
What?
Fucking go.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Oh, that was. I'm not beating that turn 1.
You want to know your first?
6.
You might as well stay in the pits.
704.
Oh, it's 16. No, I'm not. I'm not egoing. No. Oh, that was a clean one.
You're not going to stay in the pits and save us it?
Give someone a chat. A 704!
You actually have a point, Wilson. Do I save? Do I try and save the tyres? Because I don't think I'll beat that lap. I mean, I can beat it, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Jarno's going to find 2.5 times.
I think. Because, yeah, I mean, you can stay and just save us it.
Yeah, just save us.
I think we should. Yeah,
Wilson,
actually true.
Sorry, Lucas, realistically, no matter what, you're on the front row.
Which
I don't
do
see
you
anyone
use?
else.
I mean, I can still shave time off this lap, but in the middle, but like.
You won't be knocked out. Let's put it that way.
I don't know. I mean, I can obviously. I could beat this lap, but I'm not doing that sector 1 again. Like I've peaked. Sector 2, I can definitely improve, but even my sector 3 was good. Like I don't think I'm. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I can't.
Yeah, might as well save.
I might as well save the tyres because I don't know if I'm gonna get that lap. There's no guarantees I'm beating that lap. Obviously, it's possible to beat it, but to do the sector 1 again that I just done when it's worth so much time, I don't think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna stay and just save the tyres.
Yeah.
Wait, did I?
Can you do that again, actually?
Jarno's flying in
Just you,
sector
mate.
1.
Just you.
Oh, this is. What's EV? I mean, I don't know how true that is, but.
He's losing. He's lost time. He's lost time. He had such a. He peaks turn 1.
He's going to do a
8.8. 899, yeah.
That was just about. He gained his sector 1. He gained like 0.16, and I was like, uh-oh. So there we have it, on pole position with our first and actually our only run in Q3. And I'm making this good. That was not an ego retirement. That was me trying to save the tyres that I probably should have saved in Q2. I don't do ego retirements. I would never ever do that. Yeah. That was me just trying to save the tyres just in case there was a safety car, because Austria, as you're about to see, is pretty chaotic and anything can happen, and I didn't want to have fun, gents. No fresh softs, just in that eventuality. And that lap was not bad at all. So here we are lining up on P1 on our hard tyres. Jarno opting for the medium, so already we have split strategies. Even in the top 5, hard, medium, hard. 5 red light coming onto your screen now, and away we go. Getting a perfect initial launch and then winding on the throttle, and we get a fantastic start. That is crucial for us on these hard tyres, and chucking it into turn 1, trying to now get the foot down and let's try and open up this gap. However, we get a virtual safety car. Oh, that's brilliant. So
what the hell, man? About to overtake Piotr.
So straight off the start we get a VSC. So heading on to lap 2 now, the VSC was still active, and I'm not gonna lie, I get caught sleeping here. I did not see the VSC notification at the top change, because I was expecting it to flash up instead of just change the graphic, which is completely my fault. And here we are now, immediately under attack by Jarno, who's going to try everything to try and, if anything, get in front of us, because he's on these mediums and he'll want to try and, if it is even possible, which around Austria it's not exactly easy to do, get ahead of us and get away from us. But here we are side by side now with Jarno heading through the middle sector of Austria, wheel to wheel as we head towards turn 5. Now we hang it round the outside, giving him plenty of room, keeping it clean and holding on to the position, heading on to lap 3, which is important for us because now DRS will be enabled as of next lap. So yeah, we're in a decent position now to latch on to the mediums if they are to get ahead of us from this point, and then we can manage the race from there. This race was all about trying to give ourselves the best possible chance in those final few laps. Everything up until that point is all about, you know, just getting to that, you know, that final hurdle. DRS now enabled as we head on to, you know, the first of many DRS straights. With DRS open, Jarno going up the inside. I don't opt to defend that. I try and play a little bit of DRS chicken, but Jarno's wise to it, so we hang it around the outside, which is completely fine. We use a bit of ERS here though, because unfortunately for us, Alfie also has the DRS open, and I did not want to fall to P3 in the train. Falling to P3 was definitely not something I wanted to do with 2 medium runners, so we're going 3 wide here, and we're very respectfully, we all were really smart there and gave each other room. That's not often you see that in league racing. You know, 3 wide can often mean disaster, and you can see we actually back out of that as well. We're just playing. There's no point in us, you know, wasting our resource this early. I mean, we already used quite a bit of battery, unfortunately, but that's because I'm not wanting to fall to P3, of course. But you know, this is all about being in the right place at the right time come the end of the race. It isn't about being, you know, being there for lap 3 or 4, but now we are in lap 4 now, and you can see me just lifting it, so I'm wanting to make sure that I'm not burning excess ERS. It's Alfie now wants to have a go at us on the outside, but yeah, Jarno now, you can just see how powerful Slipstream and DRS is, and you can see me trying to feather out of that there, going round the outside now, and I actually lose the DRS, but that's okay, because I get the exit. But here comes Alfie again with the DRS and the slipstream. They're going to make it 3 wide, so they're going to go the inside. I'm going to brake early and get the switch back as Alfie goes in deep. Jarno just making sure that he's not making any contact, keeping it clean, and now we get the switch back. So here we are going into the middle sector. We're going to hang it around the outside of Alfie on his mediums, around the middle sector, try and give him a little bit of a squeeze here. Going into here, Alfie actually gets a bit greedy here and gives us a little bit of a love tap, which I was yeah, a little bit cheeky, but at this point in the race I was more than happy just to slot in and you know, play the long game. You know, I was quite happy to let the medium runners lead or take charge at this point in this sort of situation. I was happy to sit in P2 and let the race run, just so that I could save my tyres, save my ERS, and as you can see now, onto lap 9, battery is fully charged, and now it's my turn to take the lead. So we're going to go for the outside line on Alfie. Jarno goes to the inside. That is just the way it is on this game. The DRS, ERS, slipstream combination is unbelievably powerful, and being in P1 is already, it's very hard to lead in this game. Like, it's so tactically tricky. As you can see on lap 9, I think we have Jarno having a little look up around side. But that's all fair game. He didn't really want to make the overtake obviously at that point, but here we are on lap 17. Our fellow McLaren Shadow team member Otis is in P3 as well now, but you could see Alfie dropping back as well there on the medium, so he's dropped back a little bit down to P5, but here we are on lap 18. Jarno takes the lead, which signifies that he is going to take to the pits on this lap. And yeah, we are now gonna probably try and extend a few laps on Jarno, because it's all about having the mediums in a good spot for the end of the race. So yeah, Jarno sat in my slipstream, sat in the DRS for the latter end of his stint, just to make sure that, you know, he was getting a good return stint on those hard tyres, as we actually have to go round the outside. It's such an awkward pit entry here, where you have to, you know, somehow fling it round the outside of the car that's boxing, but we thankfully managed to minimise the loss as we done that there.
Latch onto the back of me,
and yeah, skipping on to lap 20 now. Box.
Yep, A-Fun.
We are going to be boxing this lap 2 laps later than Jarno, which means that we will have a slightly shorter stint on the mediums that Jarno had at the first stint. So yeah, we were hoping that this would not only give us somewhat decent track position, but also give us good enough tyres to be in a prime position come the end of the race. So getting into the pit box, making sure we get the optimal turn in, also making sure that we get out the box. You know, it's all the small details. If you mess one of these things up, it actually can be quite costly. So heading to the pit exit now. Jarno is about to pass us right there. There he is, Jarno OPMEER taking the theoretical lead of this race, technically speaking, and now coming out alongside Alfie Butcher, who also stopped earlier than us on the hards. The undercut is much more powerful on this game, but we are not going to be wasting any time. We have got the DRS for the next DRS zone. We go up the inside on our fresh mediums, and we take that position straight back from Alfie. And now it is heads down to close that 2.3 second gap
Good job there.
down to JARNO, which shouldn't be too difficult
Cheers,
on
Bucks.
the mediums, as the mediums have a good pace advantage right at the beginning of the stint.
Where am I coming up?
And yeah,
Yeah,
it's
probably
also
be
about navigating the
better with
traffic.
the
So
overall
Otis
train.
also boxing now as well, who's actually, he's going to have some good tires at the end of the race as well. So he's actually in a good position come the end of the
I've
race.
lost so many positions, man.
And you can see in the distance JARNO going round the outside and the DRS on the DRS
You
too,
got
sorry,
6 lap thresholds
of
faster than the guys ahead.
Duncan and Tycho Hardy ahead.
Don't need to
And
waste
you're
any
going to see
batteries
now,
to
this is
catch
the
back the
difference
donuts.
between new mediums and old
Priorities.
hards going through the middle section. Just look at the distance that we close up onto Tycho Hardy
Around
ahead of us.
50
We're
minutes.
actually going to blast our VRS a little bit as Duncan heads into the pits as well.
And the same
Getting ahead of
goes
Tycho
Zowie.
Hardy, committing into this last corner, just
Don't know if
judging
it's
that
still right
perfectly.
or not.
It was actually quite a tricky situation there, but we managed that well, minimised the time loss, and now we have a 1.9 second gap
It's on the box
to
now, I think,
JARNO
anyway,
ahead,
so.
which we are now going to chip away and close down. And as you can see on lap 24, we have managed to close that down. And now it's going to be all about saving my energy, saving my tyres, making sure that we are in the right best position for those final few laps, because that is where this race is going to be decided. It's not going to be decided now, it's going to be decided at the end. And JARNO is one of the most tactically smart and, you know, best drivers when it comes to racecraft and all these sort of things. So I knew it was going to be a good old dogfight
the hard runs, but
to go head to head. And as you can see now, we take the lead on lap 27 with our fully charged battery, and now it's going to be yeah, a bit of a game of chicken as to seeing who's gonna bite first, heading into the latter stages of this race. So yeah, JARNO having a little brief look at us, but he doesn't actually intend to overtake there, which is fair game. As Statulik actually has a look around the outside there, you can see in my virtual mirror. But yeah, heading on now to lap 34 of 36, 2.5 laps left to run. My battery is absolutely full at this point, remember. As was JARNO's. I knew JARNO's ERS. I was getting, you know, Anton, my engineer, was giving me that information. So it was quite literally who is going to pull the pin first, who is going to blink first, and that was yeah, it was going to be a good old scrap. I knew it was going to come down to these
practically
laps.
no ERS gone.
Yeah, here we are. 2 laps to go. Lap 35 or 36 in WOR Austria. And yeah, JARNO, as you can see now in the DRS, he is going to pull the pin. So we decide to use a little bit of ERS. JARNO goes to the outside line and takes the lead as we head into this DRS zone. I get the DRS for the next straight as we slot in nicely behind him. And I decide I don't want to get past here. JARNO's actually using his ERS here to defend the position into this this is braking zone, which was actually good for me because this actually meant I managed to build an energy advantage going into this last lap on him, and we're right on the back of JARNO here going into this final sector. So yeah, now it was all about having my wits about me and being ready for this last lap assault and deciding when was best to try and make the move. Do I try and make it into turn 3? Do I try and make it into turn 4? It was not a simple call to make. But here we are. It's all gonna be decided in the next 60 seconds. Lap 36, DRS open, using a little bit of battery as we head onto the penultimate DRS straight of the race. Heading into turn 1 now, we get a good entry. And here we are, DRS open, ERS on, and in the slipstream we are going to go and make the move on JARNO, switching to the outside at the last second, covering the braking zone on the inside. We brake and JARNO gets the DRS here, but we need to try and get a good exit here. We decide to make the move into turn 3. We don't actually get the best of exits, but we have a good amount of energy to spend. We defend the inside, JARNO's going for the outside and heading into turn 4. This is going to decide the race, heading into the... We're braking both so late. JARNO brakes just a bit too late to try and go around the outside, and we actually get the position, or hold on to the position I should say, as we head into this the middle sector for the final time, and we actually have plenty of energy left to defend for the rest of the lap. We were both braking so late into turn 4, and JARNO just slightly overcooked it to try and, you know, get that line across me, which was, you know, all fair game, all great racing, and we're gonna take the win. Lovely
job.
battle at the end. That was lovely.
Yeah, nice job, yeah.
GG JARNO.
Good job, man.
That was lovely. That's a good
So
clean
you
battle.
just-
No
No
wheel banging. Clean battle. Love it. I knew he
Yeah,
was. I knew he was braking late there. Like, I was like, brother, if you get this stopped, you deserve to win this. I was like, if he stops this car, I am shocked. Oh, He was really late on the books, but I had a good battle. It was well managed, lads. Nice stuff. It was not an easy race to lead, but so there we have it. P1 and WR round 2 at Austria, and yeah, big respect to JARNO. That was a really nice, clean battle that we had for the entire race. And it's so rare that you have these type of battles. You know, most of the time in league racing, it's who can shove the other driver off the most, which is, you know, not enjoyable racing, but that's just the nature of the beast. But right now, but in that race, it was really enjoyable. Hats off to JARNO. We had a good clean scrap, and yeah, hard, fair, clean, on the limit. You know, love to see it. So yeah, big shout out to him, and GG. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe and comment what you thought down below. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video. So take care, everyone. Love you all. Thank you so much for the friggin' support recently. It has been literally mind-blowing across all the channels and pages I've got. So yeah, much love to you guys, and have a great rest of your day. I'm gonna stop waffling. Take care. Love you guys. Ciao.